you've built out a couple integrations. You have experience doing that. What's one of the more challenging integration scenarios where like a big commerce developer needed to be involved in it, right? It wasn't
Yeah.
just as simple as, click here, click there, and we're ready to rock. Where was your skill set really needed in order to make an integration flow very successfully for a client?
Yeah, I think probably the place we see it the most is with a ERP to e-commerce integration. So in most cases, that's NetSuite to BigCommerce for us here at Anchor Group.
But Max, what's an example of something you had to go in there and customize or set up where your skill set, your understanding of the APIs in both software systems and along with the middleware in this situation, like talk us through an example like that.
Yeah.
What was a complex thing you need to
Yeah, I think
solve for?
the one that we're seeing right now is we have a client who's using NetSuite for their ERP. They're managing their product data in a totally fine way in their ERP. It's just not a way that BigCommerce loves to consume the data in. So they handle custom fields in NetSuite a little bit differently than BigCommerce wants them to handle custom fields. So we have to do some work in that middleware connection, some scripting that says, hey, if we see this case, this is how we have to map the custom fields to BigCommerce. If we get this other case over here, we need to handle it with these mappings. So when we have to do kind of those on the fly mappings, that's one case where we kind of have to go in and do some additional development, and it gets a little more complicated than just turning on the sync over here, turning on the sync over there, and letting the data flow between. The other case that we see frequently is when you have data in two systems, but only some of the data needs to come through. So creating some custom fields in system one that say, hey, we want this value to sync through. And then somewhere in the middle, we have to make sure, yep, it should be going to BigCommerce, and then send it through. So that's another scenario that we see pretty frequently, that often, depending on the integration system you're using or software in the middle, there's some extra development work that needs to be done there.